Here is a story of a very late bloomer. He's just under 30 and graduated from engineering school. So he acquired a decent career for himself. He considers himself a late bloomer, struggled with self-esteem, confidence issues as long as he can remember. And I've only recently made breakthroughs with the help of wonderful therapists. Speak how you feel, guys. Pay a specialist, a clinical specialist, to help you work through your needs. I've used them in the past. I've found them very useful, and I've recommended it to other people, even that I have coached specifically to speak to somebody that can help them further with that unique situation. This person goes on to say, his problem is I wasn't having relations with lots of beautiful women, and he feels like he's not a proper man. It seems like everybody else was, and sometimes I feel like I've fallen way too far. Then he goes on to say, should it be a priority to start pursuing women, perhaps like a pickup artist? And what do you think about late-night fun? Are these things healthy environments for men, right? The first question is, I feel like a light bloomer. I haven't had relations yet. I think a week or two before my 20th birthday when I lost my virginity. And I remember I made it a point to lose my virginity earlier. I was dating my first girlfriend, and that was my cherry pop. Some people pop their virginity a little earlier than others. For whatever reason, I've talked to a woman, it always seems to be when she's around 14, 15, or 16. But anyway, let me tell you a little story about something that happened in relations ed class last year of high school. I was around 16, 17, or 18 or something like that. And there was a survey that the teacher did with the classroom. There was about 30 kids in a classroom, and he asked us a whole bunch of questions about relations and stuff. And one of the questions was, are you a virgin? I lied on the survey and I said that I wasn't, and my best friend, who was sitting beside me, I knew wasn't because I routinely heard him banging his girlfriend in the next room when we would hang out sometimes. He also replied, yeah. So there was 2 people on the survey that said that they weren't virgins, and I was one of them. And I was lying. So that just gives you a ratio. I know that you said here that you feel like everybody else is getting laid, and you're not, that potentially could be deceiving. So don't let what other people say fool you. When I talk about things, and when we go down the red pill rabbit hole, but yeah, don't let that bother you that much, 'cause for the most part, a lot of people are full of it. All right, the next thing you wanted to know, pickup artistry. All right, let's spend some time in this. A lot of the RSD people like real social dynamics, like Tyler Durden, Todd Valentine, and a whole bunch of these other guys. And they have classrooms, and they bring guys together, and they teach them how to pick up women. Certain things doesn't teach you about becoming a better version of yourself, about dealing with inadequacies and all kinds of problems. And there is a very obvious point that was made about Mystery, who's one of the most famous pickup artists, was that even in the book that Neil Strauss wrote, he became a blubbering fool when his girlfriend broke up with him. His Kaya was in her name, okay? This guy was famous for being able to pick up any woman, any deal at any time. And he ended up like a blubbering little baby when it didn't work out. So it just goes to show you that pickup artistry will obviously deal with social and enos and discomfort, and of course gets you late. It seems like anybody that can follow the steps and things can obviously get a woman in a bed. But how do you deal with the intergender relationships after that? That's the sort of stuff that Rollo Tomasi talks about to understand the dynamics between men and women in the way that they communicate and connect, and understanding them at a much, much deeper level. I don't think pop-up pickup artistry is the answer. If you want to get a quick fix, if you want to up your game or strengthening your confidence, your self-confidence by closing some deals, I think that'll help. But it's not the solution. And I wouldn't rely on it solely to become a better version of yourself. I just suggest staying away from stuff like that. And the last thing that you asked was night relations or activities. Are these things a healthy environment for men? I don't see anything wrong with some of these things. There's a good group of people that think they are destructive or ruins society, humanity, men, whatever, women. Women pleasure themselves with their mind via visualization. They don't usually rely on other sources. Guys are more optical. They'll know the cosmetics of how booms above and everything like that looks matters to us. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you've got like calluses and bloody hands because you're pleasuring yourself too much all day long, then it's probably a problem. But rubbing one out once a day or once every other day or whatever's not a big deal. I don't see a big problem with that. And guys do rely on certain pleasures just as long as you understand that. This is in the real world. Like you're not gonna have a date with a girl and she's gonna show up with a pizza and start anything intimate with you as soon as she walks in the door. And there's a standard 5 moves and then you win. It's not the way that it works in the real world. It's a fantasy. Just understand that's all it is. Night relations. There's nothing more honest than night relationship, if I can tell you the truth. It's the oldest profession in the world, in the history of humankind. Is somebody paying a woman for relations? Women never pay guys for relations. Not that I've ever heard of anyway, because they're really the sole decision makers when it comes down to who they're gonna sleep with. If you want to pop your cherry by booking yourself an escort or whatever, have a blast. People have done it. It's not that big of a deal. I certainly wouldn't judge you. It doesn't matter. And then clubs. Are these healthy for men? Nothing wrong with clubs. They're fine. You can go there with your buddies and have impound, a few drinks. I frequent eat at the clubs in my younger day. They're more sensually frustrating. I'm gonna tell you a story of a buddy of mine. I took to a club once when he had never been. He was in his early 30s. We had taken him, and 5 minutes after going up to the VIP with the girl, they do the one dance for $20 or whatever it is. He comes back and he is like, "Okay man, we gotta go." And I was like, "Why, we just got here. I just ordered a beer." And he's, "No, we gotta go." And I said to him again, "Why do we gotta go?" And he is, "'Cause I came in with pants and we gotta get the fuck out of here." You're gonna get sensually frustrated going to clubs and things like that because that's what they do. They tease you, they want the upsell. My recommendation, work on yourself. When you're the absolute best version of yourself and you love yourself and you're happy with yourself and you're the strongest version of yourself and you've dealt with your issues, whatever they might be. If you're talking to a clinical psychologist and you've had massive breakthroughs, there's obviously some things that's gone on in your life. So once you've worked through that and you figured out whatever it was that was holding you back, you're obviously a smart guy if you've graduated engineering school, but whatever it is that's held you back, you've been working on. Keep working on it. Ms. Right will show up at some point. Don't make women the focus of your 20s. Make understanding yourself, tuning into your intuition, becoming a better version of yourself, dealing with whatever you might have, mommy issues, confidence issues, whatever it might be, and pushing forward.